Hey, I want to welcome Kennesaw Happenings podcast, and I am Podcast Pete, and we're at Overture 55 and older, located right by Academy Sports, behind QT and Popeyes. So in the studio is a person I met about a year ago, and so I at that time last year, you were just going on your trip to Haiti, so I didn't know anything. So fast forward a year, you guys are going back. So introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and who you're serving, and then we'll get into the podcast.
Okay, my name's Wayne Powell, and I'm retired now, but I volunteer with a number of organizations, and the one that we're going to Haiti with is Three Strands, and they have a small clinic in Cap-Haïtien, which is the second largest city in Haiti, and it's away from some of the violence that you hear about in Port-au-Prince. So this will be our third trip down there. We're not medical people, but we go down and we help with triage, which is measuring the blood pressure, the weight, the height, all the things that the doctor needs to know before they check the people out, and then also what the symptoms are. We work with translators, and then we also pray with each patient before they get their medication. We have an opportunity to listen to their problem, have an opportunity to pray with them, and again, through a translator. So it's very rewarding because it's a very, very, very poor place.
What would you say? Let's take us back 3 years. Like, did you retire and then that was your first trip to Haiti, or did you go when you were working?
No, it was just after I retired. I retired in 2019, and our first trip was in January of 2020, just before the pandemic. So,
what was it like when you decided why Haiti and why medical supplies?
Well, my wife and I have known Mike Taylor and his wife, Myra, for more than 30 years. And they originally started their medical mission before it was even Three Strands, was in Central African Republic. And they actually lived there for 9 years. They raised 4 daughters there, 4 little blonde daughters that are in Central African Republic is a very remarkable thing.
Right.
And but their heart was for that ministry. So after they came back to the States, they started Three Strands. Three Strands now has a clinic. It has a surgical center, and it just started a maternity center. And it also has a nutrition program, all in Bangui, which is I think the capital city of Central African Republic.
Being a golfer, I hear the golfer retirement stories. So they say, "Oh, I'm going to retire and play a lot of golf." After playing 5 days a week, they say, "I want something else." Because I think the personal satisfaction. Not that you're playing golf. Could you talk to our people that retire and they've been real active? How did you make that transition to serving, and maybe what has personally helped you in that part of your life?
Well, I wasn't a golfer, and I didn't have a particular, I guess you'd say, passion for a sport. So I'd hike and I'd do things like that. But after a while, I said, where else can I serve? Where can I serve God? Where can I minister? And so I worked at our church, our local church, volunteered and cleaned concrete and everything else. And then the opportunity came up to go to Haiti with people that I knew, Mike and Myra. And so Marie and I said, let's go, let's do this. And of course, it's for us, for Western folks, it's very concerning to go into a place that is so poverty stricken. but the facilities and the location of it is great. It's very close to the international airport, and they have their own guest house, which is a very nice facility, and it's got a generator, which gives you electricity, which is always nice. And so we were able to go and minister, and we were so impressed with the organization that we decided to go back. I decided to go back last year, and then Marie's going this year as well.
So I know we can give a shout out to Grace Church. That's where we met, and which is right by Town Center and next to Shogun and Patel's Market. But tell our viewers, like, I know we talked, or no, I know I received like a list of supplies. So you're taking medical supplies down. How can our community support you in being able to do that?
Well, this small clinic has a pharmacy, and the way we resupply most of the pharmaceutical products is by teams that go down there from the U.S. Marie and I can each take 2 checked bags with a total of about 90 pounds of medicine. Our church has been very gracious to bring a lot of medicine. We're just packing some of it last night, but we take that in and we actually count the pills and the ointments and things like that, and that goes into the pharmacy. And that's distributed over the next several months, and until another team goes down and takes more. So on this team, I think we're going to have 8 people. Each of those 8 people can take up to 90 pounds of medicine.
Wow.
So we can resupply the pharmacy for several months.
So would it be like beneficial for our community to donate money or supplies or both?
Probably at this point, probably money. And what we'll do is we can pick up at Costco or wherever the things that we may be lacking, but we're getting a very good supply right now. And we've still got a couple of weeks while the church is gathering more stuff. But if we had a shortage of a particular medication, we would probably buy that just before we leave.
Well, I wanted to ask you a few more questions. We'll put links we'll put links in the show notes, how people in the community can, provide you with the resources. Because you're right, when you get down to the end, filling little holes of medications, I'm sure is a big deal versus, a year out, you're getting a bunch of different things, and then you have to see which are you short on.
Right.
So like, I'm curious, that first time you went to Haiti, when you came back, what was it like for our viewers that maybe have not ventured and gone on a trip like that? And I know Haiti being so close, I like how you said it's not like going, across the world. It's pretty much in our time zone. Is that correct?
That's correct. And Marie and I probably wouldn't be ready to venture. They also do this at Central African Republic, but we're not quite ready to go to the Central African Republic. But Haiti is only about 2 hours from Miami by plane. And Miami is about 2 hours from here. So it's a relatively easy trip. And the poverty there is just unimaginable from our perspective. One of the nurses that works there, they have a full-time clinic. It has a full staff. And one of the nurses there, he gets a salary, and that salary allows him to take care of his family. And he actually is pretty well known because he has a toilet, and nobody else in the area does. So it's that kind of poverty that you just can't imagine, and yet the people are happy. The children and our children are children everywhere. They like to play and they like to have fun, and the people are very happy in getting any kind of medical service. We do charge a small fee. It's really pennies on the dollar for the medications and for the treatment, but it's a few cents really. So that's what we found.
Yeah, and I like how you brought up you charge a few pennies. I've always kind of come from the thing when you give something for free, they don't put value on it.
It's true.
And then so they're not really accepting something that's going to make a difference because they say, well, it's free. But yeah, so has that always been the philosophy of Three Strands, is to have even though pennies on the dollar, it's relative to where you are. I mean, it doesn't, pennies here is pennies there, but pennies there goes a lot further than pennies here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what would you say, what was Marie's like? She went down the first time, missed the second time, and she's going back.
Yes.
Is this something that y'all will do every year, or you do go more often than every year?
I think we reevaluate it each year.
Okay.
Depending on our health and, how things are going in Haiti. The one thing you have to be concerned about is the security down there. In Cap Haitian, we've had no problems ourselves, but there have been some other issues in some other groups, but nothing that we feel threatened about. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be going. But
yeah, and I know
go to
yes
Port-au-Prince, because Port-au-Prince is, is just completely dominated by gangs and kidnappings and things like that. But Cap Haitian is 5 hours away from Port-au-Prince. If you drive, they're terrible roads, and so that kind of stops the gangs from going too far afield.
What would you say for our viewers that have never been on a mission trip, have never left Kennesaw? Are you guys looking for people through Three Strands? Is that something that you actively look to build teams of people that are going to go down there and serve the clinic?
Yeah, they post when they're going to have a mission trip, whether it's to Central African Republic or whether it's to Haiti, and they are open to almost anybody going. They have a thing that you fill out to learn about you and your background, and they can use almost anybody. I mean, we have electricians go, and we have internet security people go, because we do have Wi-Fi in the building, and we do have a security system in the building and things like that. I'm going to be probably doing some painting at the guest house, and generator. We've got generators and electrical stuff that needs rewiring once in a while. So yeah, almost anybody can participate. I mean, even if you can only pray with the people, that's enough.
So yeah, so our tradespeople can go and serve in, like you said.
A carpenter would be wonderful.
Well, okay. Well, if you know of a carpenter that wants to serve in a way that Wayne has described, please share this with them. And I can't speak from experience because I've never been down there, but I have known a lot of people that have gone, and they always say one thing: I thought I was going for me. I mean, I thought I was going for them, but then it turned out to warm my heart and be able to, it affected me, because I think if we live in a culture that's very affluent, we think everybody does. We haven't stepped out into an area of poverty that we are not familiar with. And you have to always put yourself in that situation to really understand it. What would you say, like, the difference? I know we talked, I think it was over the phone or something, about the showering experience. So how does that work down there? Like, they don't have like the normal water system that we have. But
Right.
share with our viewers a little bit of that.
They have a generator that pumps water. They do have a well that pumps water, and it pumps it up to a 300-gallon tank up on the roof. It's a black plastic tank, and so it gets a little solar heat, but generally the showers are cold showers. So that's a big change from what we're used to here. So we struggle with that one issue. If it was not for that one issue, we'd be more than happy to go on the trip. Those cold showers are quite refreshing. We'll call it refreshing.
Right.
It sounds good.
Well, for my biohackers that listen, there's a thing called, well, they know it's cold plunge.
Oh.
And you're plunging into very cold water. And I'm sure if this is being heated by the sun, it's not cold plunge.
No, it's not.
So I think what you can think about is if you want to experience the cold plunge, but not be so cold, this could be a stepping stone.
That's right.
To get to, that ice cold that a lot of people in the biohacking world will do, because it does something to your body. It like shocks it and helps the immune system or something. So the benefits could be gaining by exposing themselves not to that hot, warm shower. So what would you, as we wind down here, tell our viewers, like, now that you've gone 3 years, what would you say to people that have, one, never gone? How would you encourage them to venture into an unfamiliar space of serving? What would you how would you encourage them?
One of the things that Three Strands always points out is the fact that you can't fix Haiti. We can't. The governments have been sending them billions of dollars, and there's a lot of corruption in the hierarchy, but we can fix one Haitian. We can help one Haitian, and at a time. And that's what Three Strands does. And that's what you learn when you go there and you're dealing one-on-one with the people, that you're helping that person. And so we really strive to do that. The other thing is you're going with a team, and the team is medical professionals, laymen like myself, and some tradespeople. So you really have a support team to go with you. You're not going alone.
When you go into a different country or area, you want to know that you're surrounded by people that can help. And so you're not in a silo taking on the jungles of America by yourself, like Tarzan or something like that. So tell our viewers how they can get a hold of you.
Well, to get a hold of me, it's
or Three Strands.
If you want to research going at some point with Three Strands, either to the Central African Republic or Haiti, it's 3-strands.org. And they'll have a list of upcoming trips. And then it'll also say what you can do, what's required to volunteer. For us, for the right now, I'd probably go through our church, and they're collecting the money and also the medicines right now. And you could probably attach a link to the medicines that are required. My wife and I were just packing last night, and we're doing extremely well. We're probably almost 30 pounds per suitcase now, and we can go up to 40 pounds. So we're very close to meeting our needs for that.
Well, we'll do that. Now we'll put a link to Grace Church in the show notes, and maybe a contact person over there if somebody likes to call Gabby or somebody that they can, take our viewers and help them to know how they can support and serve you guys. So what would you, as we wind down, what would you say the one thing that you want our viewers to take home from this morning on the podcast?
Well, if you're a praying person, certainly pray for our excuse me, for our trip and for our safety and for being effective there. If you're not, then financial aid would always be appreciated.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you, Wayne, for one, coming when we double booked. I went to meet Wayne at the front door and I ran into Stan. I was going like, uh-oh. I know Stan, and I know I didn't think he was going to be here, but thank you so much for being patient while you heard a little bit of Stan's story. So we'll actually, I'd love to have you back after you come back and really share with our viewers, what the trip was all, how you were able to,
I'd love to be able to share some of the pictures and photos and stuff that we, of the people that we see.
Well, we'll make that happen. So thank you so much, Wayne, for being a guest on Kennesaw Happenings.
Well, thank you, Pete.